Hi guys, I'm 37 weeks and 3 days today, so we have 2 weeks and 4 days left. And first of all, it's like 3 o'clock and I'm still in my pajamas. So just a warning, when I show you guys my tummy, I'm aware that this shirt doesn't cover my stomach, so I guess I just apologize ahead of time if I look kind of like a slob or something. So yeah, this week at my doctor appointment, or I guess that was last week. Yeah, at my doctor appointment they didn't check me for dilation or anything, but they're going to a week from today. Also, I'm pretty sure that the baby has dropped. The reason why I think so is because he hasn't been in my ribs all week, which, you know, from all my previous updates, you know, that's like super unusual. And then it was like from one day to the next, it was just like a really distinct, like, kind of transition, I guess. Like one day, I don't remember, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, but one day he was in my ribs, and then the next day he was just not in my ribs, and he hasn't been in my ribs like since then. His shifting around and squirming is like at my belly button level or lower. Another reason why I think that he's dropped is because from my Lamaze classes, they've told us to be doing like pelvic tilts every day, which basically helps the baby make sure that he's in anterior position, and then if he's in posterior position, it will help him to be able to turn. And so I've been doing them every day, and after I do them, I always feel like a lot of, sorry if this is gross too, but I feel like a lot of pressure in my butt. But I think that's a good sign, because I know that that's like a symptom when they're like down there. So yeah, but then the reason why, like, I don't know for sure, like 100% sure that he's dropped, because I don't feel like my stomach looks any different. And I thought that it was gonna be like an obvious change physically in how my stomach looked, but I feel like it looks the same. So I don't know, maybe that's because I was like kind of carrying like an egg shape in the first place. Also, my hands and my feet have been swelling, especially when I exercise. They get like the Michelin Man. But yeah, and then last night my feet were swollen and I had them like propped up or whatever, and I noticed that my feet had like red splotches on them. And I've noticed that before, but I just never looked at them closely. And so I looked at the splotches, and they're like these little patches of just veins, like red, tiny, tiny little veins, like almost like, you know, the thinness of hair, just like super tiny red veins. And anyway, and at my doctor appointment, I asked the midwife about the Braxton Hicks because, you know, a couple weeks ago or whenever it was, I got like 6 or 7 in an hour, and now that's like really common for me. I'll get them like back to back to back, and sometimes like it feels like just one big one. Like it just never seems to go away for like a long time. So I asked her about it, and she said like I shouldn't be, you know, concerned about it. She said at this point I'm full term. If I go into labor, I go into labor. So she said it's not a big deal. She said more when they tell you that you shouldn't be getting more than 4 in an hour, it's when you're like further along, or not further, but earlier in your pregnancy, because it could be like a sign of like premature labor. But she said like for me, it would be totally fine if I were to go into labor, so she said it's not a big deal. And then something today that I noticed that I was complaining to my sister about is my nails are like so long and they grow like so fast. I don't know if you can tell, but my hair has not grown at all, I feel like, in my whole 9 months of pregnancy. And that's not fair or okay, because I was so excited because I feel like my hair like reaches a certain point and then it just doesn't grow anymore. And so one of the things about being pregnant, I was like, finally my hair will grow, but no, it hasn't. But my nails sure aren't stopping anytime soon. So that's it for symptoms. And then let's see, there was one other thing. Oh, so I feel like really confident about going into like an unmedicated labor, and it's because of like the Lamaze classes and everything, obviously. But like before we started our classes, this is our second week. Today's the last day of our second week. And before we started the classes, I was like starting to get pretty nervous about going into labor because I felt like, oh my gosh, this could happen like in a couple weeks, and I suck at dealing with pain and I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. But now, like, I feel really confident about it. Like, being in Lamaze has taught me, like, I guess, how do I, like, naturally respond to pain? And I've been able to, like, identify, kind of the reactions that my body does. And like I feel like everything, like I know I tense up and I'll just like focus on the pain, and like, if my stomach's hurting, I'll even like grab my stomach or something, which is like everything. I was pretty much doing everything that you're not supposed to do when you are in pain. So anyway, I've been able to identify like those things, like how I was reacting wrong, and so like I'm learning to try to kind of teach my body to respond like in a better way, and use like my relaxation and breathing and stuff like that that we've been learning in class, and I've been practicing at home. And how I've been doing that is just taking an ice cube, and like I'll hold it in my hand. And this might, like, I know a lot of you are probably like, oh, well, that's not a big deal, but for me, like, that after a while, that's some pretty intense pain. And so just that should tell you enough, like, how terrible I am with pain. But yeah, so this ice cube in my hand is pretty uncomfortable, and so I've just been like doing that and practicing the focusing and the relaxing and the breathing to take my attention away from like how much the ice stings. And yeah, I feel like I'm making like good progress with that, and I know that labor is going to be like a whole lot worse, like probably 1,000 times worse than an ice cube. But still, I mean, I feel confident that, like, I'm teaching myself to redirect my attention and just be able to, relax and do all of the things that I'm supposed to do. Like, so yeah, Lamaze is working, and I feel a lot better about my ability to cope during labor. So that's all that I wanted to talk about this week. Oh, and Rory and my first wedding anniversary is on Sunday, and we were planning on going to Catalina Island, because that's where he proposed to me, so we thought it would be kind of cool. But like the port from where the ferry thing leaves is like an hour, a little more than an hour drive. And then from there, it's an hour and a half boat ride to the island. So anyway, we kind of decided against doing that just in case like something happens. If I go into labor, we would pretty much be, 3 hours, maybe close to 4 hours away from the hospital. And then we'd have to worry about the boat ride and then the drive back and everything. So anyway, we just thought it would be safer, I guess, if we weren't all out and secluded like that. But yeah, so I don't really know what we're going to do. But it's still exciting. So yeah, I will show you my 37-week and 3-day belly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for our 38-week update. Bye!